Good morning, May 17th, 2024, Friday, about 8 o'clock in the morning. Best pitcher of the year, 1914. Combine all the National American League pitchers together. Who stood out? Who had the best season? Who won the most pitching categories? Cy Falkenberg, 1914. I'm giving it to him. Have you heard of him? I have not. He's not in the Baseball Hall of Fame. But for the year 1914, he won 4 pitching categories. Most innings, 377. Most strikeouts, 236. Shutouts, 9. Most games started, 43. Cy Falkenberg. Who is this guy? Well, you go to Baseball Reference. Type in his name. He pitched from 1903 to 1917. Won 130 games in his career. 2.68 career ERA. 2,200 innings and about 1,100 strikeouts. Not good enough for the Baseball Hall of Fame. But the year 1914, here was his record: 25-16. 49 games he appeared in. He had 43 starts. That's the most of all the pitchers. So he wins that category. He had 9 shutouts. Nobody else had more. He had 377 innings. No one else had more. And he had 236 strikeouts. Nobody else had more. So 4 pitching categories, give it to him. Started at age 23. Pitched until he was age 37. Just had a couple years. 1913, 23 and 10. 1914, 25-16. But the rest of his career, not much. 10 wins here, 11 wins, 14 wins. Cy Falkenberg. He's one of the guys that in my series of videos I'm doing on pitching, he's one of the guys that just had a good year and nobody else could match what he did for that certain year. But for the rest of his career, not much. So we'll finish 1914. Give it to him. We'll continue in our series. We're going to go year by year. We're going to get into a lot of Hall of Fame pitchers. But along the way, there'll be some guys like Cy Falkenberg that have a good year, and we'll give them the best pitcher for that year. The pitchers who do it multiple times, and the guys who are in the Baseball Hall of Fame, those are the ones that we will really highlight and show what their career was. Point out some stats, why they made the Baseball Hall of Fame. Also, I'm going to consider rankings. Who are my top 10? So far in my series, I have 2 guys that are definitely in my top 10. Number 1, Walter Johnson, and number 2, Christy Mathewson. I've covered Ed Walsh. He's got 4 wins. So I'm going to have to put him somewhere in there, but I don't know what number. We've covered Pete Alexander. We've covered Pud Calvin. We've covered Cy Young, Kid Nichols, Tim Keefe. Some of these guys, but there's a lot of other pitchers we're going to look at. 1 and 2, Walter Johnson, Christy Mathewson, definitely. Because in my videos, I pointed out what they did to earn those spots in my ranking. Number 3, still debating. Could be Pete Alexander, could be Ed Walsh, could be somebody else along the way. Of course, we're in 1914. We're going to go all the way to 2023. We're going to see if someone really impresses me and has multiple wins. Got Warren Spahn coming up. he was toward the 1950s and 60s, right? You got Bell Feller. Gotta look at him. We gotta look at Lefty Grove. Where can I put him? You got some guys coming up. Carl Hubble is another name. Of course, when you get to the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you're going to have a Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, Juan Marshall. Then you're going to get into the 70s, 80s, and 90s. You got a guy named Nolan Ryan. Heard of him? Got Steve Carlton. Got Greg Maddux. Tom Glavine. We got some guys coming up. So that's why I'm not definite yet on the top 10 as far as numbers 3 through 10. I got to look at these guys as we're covering it, all right? 1914 done. We'll get 1915 next video. We'll talk to you then. I'm out.